Have you ever noticed something strange about human nature? The tighter we hold sand in our fist, the faster it slips away. But when we open our palm, the sand stays. Life, love, relationships, they work exactly the same way. Have you ever noticed how the more tightly we try to hold something precious, the more restless it becomes? It's like holding a bird in your hands. If you squeeze too hard, you hurt it. If you open your palms gently, it may choose to stay. Human relationships work in the same quiet, invisible way. Especially love, especially attachment. There is a deep truth many people discover very late in life. Men fall the deepest for the woman who lets him go. At first, this sounds confusing. Our mind says, if you love someone, don't you hold on? But wisdom teaches us something different. Love is not about gripping, it is about giving space. When love turns into constant checking, constant questioning, constant fear of losing, it slowly stops feeling like love. It starts feeling like pressure. And no heart, no matter how caring, can stay peaceful under pressure for long. A woman who lets a man go is not weak. In fact, she is emotionally very strong. She is not saying, I don't care. She is saying, I care enough to not force. She understands that real connection cannot be controlled. It can only be invited. When she doesn't chase, doesn't beg, doesn't try to prove her worth again and again, something powerful happens. Her presence gains value, her silence speaks. Her self-respect becomes visible. Men, like all human beings, respond deeply to freedom. When someone stays only because they are allowed to leave, that staying becomes meaningful. When there is no fear, no emotional manipulation, no guilt, the heart relaxes. And in that relaxed state, love has room to grow. A woman who lets go removes fear from the relationship. No fear of expectations, no fear of suffocation, no fear of losing oneself. What remains is choice. And love that comes from choice is always deeper than love that comes from compulsion. There is also something else very subtle. A woman who can let go shows that she has a life, an identity, and a sense of completeness beyond the relationship. She doesn't disappear into love. She doesn't abandon herself to keep someone. That balance is deeply attractive. It sends a silent message. I value you, but I value myself too. And people instinctively respect what is not desperate to be held. Letting go does not mean closing your heart or becoming cold. It means trusting life. It means believing that what truly belongs will return on its own. And if it doesn't return, then it was never meant to stay without force. Love that has to be trapped will eventually suffocate both people. Love that is free has the chance to become timeless. So remember this gently. If someone walks away when you stop holding them tightly, you didn't lose love. You discovered its truth. And if someone comes back when you gave them freedom, they didn't come back because they were chased. They came back because they felt peace. Because the deepest love is not created by holding on harder, but by having the courage to open your hands and trust. Have you ever wondered why some relationships feel effortless, while others feel like a constant struggle? It is not about how much you hold on, but how much you allow space. There is a beautiful, subtle law in human emotions. Men often fall deepest for the woman who knows when to let go. This does not mean she is indifferent or detached. On the contrary, it is a sign of inner strength, clarity, and wisdom. Love, when forced, loses its essence. But love that is given freely, without desperation or expectation, grows roots that can withstand storms. Most of us have been taught that love means possession. That if you care, you must check, control, or question. You must constantly prove yourself, your feelings, your loyalty. And in the process, what begins as love slowly turns into pressure. Pressure creates resistance. Resistance creates distance. And distance eventually leads to the fading of affection. But when a woman allows a man his space, she creates a very different energy. She shows that she is not trapped by insecurity, that her heart is strong enough to let love breathe. Letting go is often misunderstood as weakness. In reality, it is courage. It is emotional intelligence. When she steps back, she is saying, I am whole, I am complete, and my happiness does not depend on holding you. And this is magnetic. People are drawn to confidence, not clinginess. People respect those who have self-worth, not those who beg for attention. A heart that is free from fear and neediness becomes a heart that others are naturally drawn to. Men, like all of us, are naturally attracted to freedom. They are not drawn to cages, even if the cage is decorated with love and care. When they feel that their partner trusts them enough to let go, they begin to value the relationship in ways that force and control can never achieve. A woman who understands this removes fear from love. She removes neediness. She removes desperation. And in place of all of that, she creates choice. And love that comes from choice is always deeper, purer, and longer lasting. It is also important to understand that letting go does not mean detachment or coldness. It means awareness. It means emotional maturity. It means realizing that love cannot be demanded or bought. It must be given space to grow and return. When she maintains her dignity, keeps her identity, and respects herself, she invites respect in return. She demonstrates that real love is not about holding tightly, but about trusting the other and trusting oneself. So, if you ever feel the urge to chase, to push, or to control someone you care about, pause, step back, give space, allow life to flow naturally. If the bond is true, it will come back with deeper understanding, respect, and connection. And if it does not, you have not lost love, you have gained clarity, peace, and the freedom to receive love that is real. The essence of deep, lasting relationships is not in possession, but in letting go with trust, patience, and inner strength. Have you ever noticed how often in relationships we confuse love with possession? We think that caring means holding on tightly, checking constantly, or trying to control the other person's every move. And yet the heart of love is very different. There is a quiet, subtle truth in human connection. Men often fall the deepest for the woman who lets them go. This does not mean indifference, coldness, or lack of love. On the contrary, it reflects strength, maturity, and an understanding of the delicate balance between attachment and freedom. When a woman allows space in a relationship, she is showing that her identity and her happiness are not dependent on the presence or absence of someone else. She is not saying, "I don't care," but rather, "I trust life. I trust love, and I trust myself." And this is something that most people fail to grasp. Often when we hold on too tightly, we create fear in the relationship. The fear of making a mistake, the fear of leaving, the fear of losing. Fear has a way of suffocating love. But freedom allows it to breathe. A woman who lets go is demonstrating confidence. She knows her worth. She knows that love cannot be forced. When she does not chase, does not beg, and does not demand constant reassurance, she creates an energy that is magnetic. People are drawn to strength, not neediness. They are drawn to calm, not chaos. They are drawn to someone who is whole, not someone who is incomplete. This is why love that comes from freedom is always deeper, purer, and more lasting. Men, like all human beings, respond to authenticity and trust. When they feel that a partner respects them enough to give them space, they begin to value the relationship in ways that force or manipulation can never create. Letting go does not mean giving up. It means stepping back with grace. It means saying, "I care, but I also trust. I want you, but I do not need to trap you to have you." This approach creates a unique environment where love can flourish naturally. It is important to understand that letting go is not about detachment. It is about awareness. It is about emotional intelligence. It is about realizing that love cannot be bought or demanded. When a woman maintains her dignity, her sense of self, and her inner peace, she teaches others how to value her without having to ask for it. Love in such circumstances becomes a choice, not an obligation. And love that is chosen, rather than demanded, is always more meaningful. So, if you ever find yourself tempted to hold on too tightly, to push, to question, or to chase, pause and reflect. Step back. Give the relationship the gift of space. Trust the process. If the love is true, it will return, not because it was forced, but because it was understood and respected. And if it does not return, you have not lost love. You have gained clarity, maturity, and the freedom to embrace a love that is real, lasting, and unforgettable. True love grows in freedom, flourishes in trust, and deepens when it is allowed to breathe. Have you ever noticed how often in life we try to hold on to the things we love, only to find that the tighter we hold, the faster they slip away? Relationships, especially romantic ones, are no different. There is a quiet, profound truth in human connection. Men often fall deepest for the woman who lets them go. It sounds paradoxical, doesn't it? But when you pause and look closely, it makes perfect sense. Love that is forced or pressured rarely lasts. Love that is given space, freedom, and trust grows roots that are strong, steady, and enduring. Many of us misunderstand what it means to love. We think it means constant attention, constant reassurance, or constant presence. We believe that if we truly care, we must control or check, guide or correct. And yet, what we create through that approach is often fear, pressure, or obligation. A heart under pressure does not open, it retreats. A person who feels controlled does not stay, they seek freedom. But when a woman understands the delicate balance between love and freedom, she creates a very different energy. She demonstrates that she is whole, complete and content, independent of another's presence or absence. Letting go is not a sign of weakness. It is a mark of emotional strength. When she lets go, she is saying, I am strong enough to trust myself. I am confident enough to respect you. I am wise enough to allow love to flow naturally. This ability to step back without desperation or neediness is magnetic. People are drawn to confidence, authenticity, and peace. They are drawn to those who are not dependent on their validation, but have a deep sense of self-worth. This is why a man, when faced with a woman who gives him space, often finds himself drawn more deeply, more willingly, and more sincerely than if she were clinging or chasing. Freedom in love does not mean detachment or indifference. It means presence without possession, care without control, and affection without force. A woman who practices this teaches an unspoken lesson that love is not a trap, but a choice. When she maintains her dignity, her individuality, and her inner peace, she sets a standard that cannot be ignored. She demonstrates that relationships thrive not under pressure, but under respect, trust, and understanding. And in such an environment, love grows naturally, organically, and beautifully. When you let go, you are giving the relationship a chance to breathe, to evolve, and to return with a heart that is fully willing, fully engaged, and fully present. If it returns, it comes not out of fear or obligation, but from choice, appreciation, and genuine connection. And if it does not, you have not lost love. You have gained clarity, emotional maturity, and the freedom to welcome love that is real and lasting. The deepest love is never forced. It is nurtured through patience, trust, and the courage to let go while remaining fully present. It is in this space that love becomes unforgettable, timeless, and truly profound. Because the strongest love is not the one that holds on desperately. It is the one that says calmly, I love you, but I trust myself enough to let you go. And that is where love stops being fragile and starts becoming unforgettable.